strategy or training or understanding or anything you want to go over questions-wise before we get into the actual review itself?
Before, no, this is weird. I don't really have a training regimen, which is kind of maybe the problem.
Sure.
But should I just like DM you the
Yeah,
replay code?
sure. That's fine. That's fine. So no other questions then?
Uh, Not off the top of my head. I think
Okay.
this is mostly just like a review of just like how to get out of maybe just a mental slump.
Sure,
I
sure.
don't. So, so this is, if you want context, this is technically not comp. This is a match that I played for my collegiate team that I think I played poorly, but we still win the map. And I just
Okay.
want like, I want like to have more like I want to be able to like just get out of that like if I'm having a bad game, just being able to turn it around more and like focus more and like figuring out what I was doing wrong,
Sure. Okay.
if that
Makes
makes
total
sense.
sense. Yeah, it makes total sense. I mean, and then you are a diamond tank player, but scrim a little higher than that.
Uh, I just hit Masters 4.
Nice.
I don't play comp. I mostly play like collegiate. I scrim like 3 to 4 times a week at like 4.0, 4.1 scrim
Sure.
SR. So that's
Sure. Okay. Okay.
uh,
Makes sense. Okay. Now, out of all the codes that I'm sure you have from like scrimmages and stuff, why this particular code? Why this one? Did you want to look at this one?
uh so this is the playoffs of my collegiate league.
Mm-hmm.
We're down 0-2 and we reverse sweep. We
Nice.
This is the first game we win, but it's kind of just like the idea of just like I was having a bad game. I play much better games 4 and 5, but I want to look at this game as be like, okay, I needed to win this game, yet for some reason I think the nerves or like something mental just like didn't give me my full focus.
Yeah, I
And I
understand
want
that
to look
completely.
at that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Couple of things from your form really fast here. Become better in a team environment and to be more aware goal wise of what my job is in certain situations to peel or not to peel. Could you
Yeah.
elaborate on that a little bit?
That's a big thing where it's like and this specifically I play Zarya, but like my two tanks that like I mostly play are Zarya Diva. And it's
Okay.
kind of the idea of like the problem in this game specifically was like there was a venture
Mm-hmm.
Pharah that like we were struggling with, and it's kind of just like the if my team is dying in the back, do I just like turn around and bubble, or do I just like keep walking forward to
Sure.
like use my bubbles aggressively and like split off the team? That was like that's one thing.
Sure. Sure. Okay. Makes total
A
sense.
bit
Well,
less so in this map,
sure.
but
Sure.
that's one thing in general.
I mean, conceptually, the question is like, can you get pressure out of your bubbles consistently? And if the answer is not really, because they're just kind of skipping past me and going to backline, then that kind of answers that question, right? But a lot of the
Yeah.
value with Zarya and Diva is trying to set up preventatively from them taking a space that they'll use to go to your backline, if that makes sense. So that if they do go to your backline, they kind of have to go at least through you on one angle, right? Alternatively, they just have to rotate all the
Yeah.
way away from you, and so that's the goal anyway. Okay, and then finally here, mostly understanding of what I should be doing in certain situations. We talked about peeling already, but helping on point, playing aggressive. Is that just more of the same in terms of like how I should be doing things? I guess.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I played a lot of Overwatch 1 Zarya, and I'm more
Yeah.
so new to Overwatch 2 tank. So
Sure.
I kind of just have like the idea of like my main goal is not like the goals are a bit different on Zarya's like in Ziva, where it's like I'm not I'm not like entirely like focused. I'm the one creating space rather than the one
Yes.
helping create
Yes.
space.
Yes. 100%. I actually think there's like this weird dynamic here where I think Zarya is a better peel character than Diva is in Overwatch 2. If we go by the traditional sense of peeling, as in I'm going to go back and help my teammates. And the reason why that's
Yeah.
the case is that Diva was often like on and off angle, but not at the spearhead of the engagement. Therefore, she was like proximity wise generally in a better position to help multiple different people, right? And more often
Yeah.
than not, she kind of enabled her tank. Now Zarya was the same way, but the key thing about Zarya's kit that allows her to peel more consistently in Overwatch 2 is the fact that she can bubble from a distance. So you don't really have to compromise the position or angle that you're currently holding to help somebody split from you. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like in the same way that Brigitte with Armor Pack is oftentimes even more valuable than a Brigitte with Inspire, it's the same thing because you could just impact someone else while not giving up space with where you are. Now, obviously, there is the opportunity cost that you talked about earlier, which is like, I do have to look away for a second. So is that an opportunity cost? Yeah, absolutely. And that's something you have to kind of factor in. But that is something that makes Zarya, it rewards Zarya for having a much more backline focused in certain situations. Now, that being said, a lot of times with how dives are won is through either avoiding you entirely, which is not a bad thing, or by forcing resources out of your backline because you took a bad trade on the front line. Like, look at this situation right here, right? Like, let's say that you took a bad trade to the Orisa, got both your bubbles forced, but didn't really do a lot of damage with them. Well, then not only are your backline vulnerable, but you're vulnerable even a little bit. And maybe you need a little bit more healing, or you demand a little bit more attention, in which case that takes attention away from your supports and DPS and their own resource trades on off angles, right? So it's really important. It starts with taking an effective frontline trade, sideline trade, wherever you're positioned, and then what will happen is you'll either force resources out of the enemy team, which helps put your backline in a better position, or you won't demand any resources yourself. And so then that allows your backline to just kind of focus on themselves too, if that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other specific questions with Zarya before we jump in?
Not particularly, no.
Okay, let's take a look here. I mean, this matchup looks on paper pretty good. It's a decent map for Zarya. There's, we just kind of focus on taking a good frontline trade and shooting what's in front of us. So the difficult thing with Zarya is that so much of her pressure output isn't just putting herself in the right spots like it is like a Winston. And that's kind of what makes her uniquely challenging, is that she's probably easier than some tanks at Overwatch just because she is more simple, but you are required to do things mechanically well. And I'm going to kind of talk about the different ways that we can interpret mechanics, right? First off, you getting javelined here is mechanics, right? Like, you not being a little bit too far from cover is how I'll dictate mechanics, right? Now, just basically the way that you're moving with the character. So then what that means is that we take about 200, 250 extra damage without doing anything with that, right? So that's bad, right? I mean, it's bad.
I've already lost the resource trade.
You've already lost the resource trade to an extent. Now, it's not the end of the world. This resource trade will continue, so you have an opportunity to kind of clutch it out elsewhere. But then we'll keep going with that. So that's a corner discipline, resource trade. Yeah. Okay. Second thing is target priority in terms of just shooting squishies when you have the ability to do so. And to be clear, you do a good job with that here. You get a little healing and you peek on this backline here. So that's okay. Good job. The problem here is an additional mechanic thing that's really important with Zarya, and probably something you've heard me talk about, is you need to open with alt fire whenever you can. I turn this corner here. The way to maximize my DPS, not per clip, but just per, I guess per clip, is you're going to open with alt fire and anything that you can hit with, and then transition from that into primary fire, right? Just allows you to front load a little bit more damage at the expense of a little bit more ammo, which in this particular situation doesn't matter so much, because if you do damage, Overwatch players generally go behind cover, in which case you're going to be caught in a reload loop, right? So the key thing is not always to reduce the number of reloads that you have, but to make every reload count, if that makes sense. And that starts with usually when you can versus all targets that aren't currently in the air open with an alt fire. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah.
Another small thing, but it's something with Zarya that happens 4, 5, 6 times a fight, at least.
Yeah.
Bubble is okay. Now, I would have preferred you to try to do one more alt fire here, maybe. But the question with Bubble is, go ahead, finish your thought.
No, I was thinking of walking, but then I saw them like rotate out, so I was like, I was kind of like, I agree that this Bubble wasn't great, but it was kind of the idea of like I wanted to walk on them, and I just like couldn't really catch up to that.
Bubble can help you to walk, but also Bubble just helps you to do damage without taking damage. No.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question: if you did not bubble here, what would have happened?
Nothing really. I guess I would have hurt the Lucio a bit more, but
what would they have done if you don't bubble here? I mean, look.
Just
right?
like shoot me, I guess.
They're just going to keep shooting it. They're going to be happy to trade with you. Now you're like, well, I mean, I can shoot them back, right? But it's a 3v1, right? So like you need to bubble to peak this effectively. So then what happens is that you get charged because they're in the act of shooting and overextending half HP Zarya, right? But crucially, you force them to duck behind a corner, which then means that they have to re-peek the corner, which then creates an opportunity for your Reaper to take an angle and for you to build a bit of charge. When you're thinking about like whether it was a good or a bad bubble, do not look at the charge. Do not look at how much damage you did, how much damage you could have taken. Just simply look at, did that allow me to do something that otherwise I would have not been able to have done? And the answer with this one is yes. Because peeking here with alt fire and then continuing to do more damage with an additional alt fire would have taken a lot of your HP away. You would have lost a lot of HP, and that they would have egoed you and probably killed you, right? So it's fine.
Okay.
But you don't not bubble because you're holding a corner. Just hold the corner and do more damage for an extra half a second longer because you're bubbling.
Yeah.
You understand? So this is okay because that applies pressure. That forces them on the back foot. Now the problem here is that despite everything that you've seen here, Genji, Sam, Lucio, we turn around. Why?
I think it's just to like, I don't know. I think it's just like just to get ready to bubble because I'm not actively looking at a target. Just like look behind me so I could like. See
But
if
why
anyone
would
needs
you?
help.
But why would they need help? What would be threatening them right now?
I guess spears back on cooldown maybe.
Yeah, but why would the spear be a threat right now? From where? From who? The Orisa, right? Where's the Orisa right now? Why aren't we pressuring her right now? Why aren't we stopping her from spear being a threat? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We've seen all of the enemy threats basically on our screen, and we're saying, well, I better turn around just in case the enemy... No, this is your job. Your job is to make sure that these things are not a threat.
Yeah.
The only time you bubble backline is through the enemy team's mobility. They find a way to bypass your position and skip straight to your backline. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
And
even
I
then-
know they're not doing that because they're just rotated away.
Well, you've seen them, right? And even if that's the case, you still have to strongly consider the opportunity cost of could I just be doing something to stop? Like, for example, if this Symmetra teleports in your backline and this Orisa runs it down on you, you know what I do? I probably bubble myself and fight the Orisa and just trust my team deals with the Symmetra. Because if I bubble my backline, that's an opportunity cost and means I can't deal with Orisa. And that's not a consistency thing. That's something that I have to gamble with. I take the consistent approach, the consistent pressure. The only time I concern myself with bubbling backline is if there's a huge spike in risk or there's just nothing for me to pressure anyway. You understand? Something we talked about at the start. So right now, the problem is that you've had all of this vision on your screen of targets that are pressuring you and nobody really contesting your backline. And yet we stopped to turn around on threats that aren't going to be there. And so then it means lowered. And she gets the javelin off, right? And that's your fault.
Because
You should have been here sooner with your bubble on the corner, pressuring this Orisa out, forcing more resources. Just focus on what's on your screen first. As long as there is an active threat on your screen, that is your number one priority 95% of the time.
Yeah.
There's exceptions. You hear Pulse Bomb, you hear Dragon Blade, sure. But that's not going to be happening here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, bubble to do damage on a corner. Doesn't necessarily need to push. I see that all the time with Zarya. Remember, you have a ranged weapon. Bubble, peek, do damage. Open with alt fire, play your cover. Bubble yourself until given a reason to do so otherwise. And so you can kind of see here a lot of the same things that we talked about, right? Which is mostly opening with alt fire. Probably should have bubbled this one. Why? Look carefully. You're like, what? I didn't get shot. Well, what could you have done with this bubble? Walk, right? Or, walk here. Doesn't necessarily mean walk on tank. It means just, I want to keep doing damage here because I see an opportunity to do more. So why not do more?
Yeah.
And by walk, I mean maybe walking is just a little, just so I can reach the Genji. Why not? You deal with one threat, your team deals with the other. You're not a jack of all trades. Stop trying to be so,
Yeah.
So what you're doing is you're popcorning, right? You're dealing with one threat and you're dealing with another. And this ends up working out. But to be honest with you, did you do anything to this psychopath here, this Symmetra?
No.
No, not really, right? Not like barely anything at all. Like about 15 damage. And what did you open up by doing this? Well, she's still here. Right?
Yeah.
Now, is Genji more of a priority than you than Symmetra? No. But why do I prioritize Genji over Symmetra in this particular situation?
Because they're split.
More so than that. You were already here.
Oh, yeah.
So there's the opportunity cost of moving back across. And this opens up in lane here. You see what I'm saying? That's the key thing I want you to consider with Zarya, especially. So much of... Check the kill feed. So much of Zarya is uptime on the lane or the angle that you're choosing. And then using your bubble on backline when you are not in a position to do any pressure anyway. But if you're in a position to do pressure, the only thing that matters is what's on your screen.
Okay.
and what's within reach. And that's why Zarya's a really frustrating character for certain people, because it does really just simply feel like they just shoot what's on the screen. That's all they do. Yep, that's correct. It's good. It's good. That's how it's done. So keep that in mind. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You'll notice as well that despite having basically targets in front of your screen this entire time, look at your ult charge.
33%, not a lot.
Not a lot. Now, it's not always about ult charge. This is a very common low percentage if they're running like a dive comp and surrounding you and avoiding you, right? But you've had plenty of opportunities to do damage. Keep popping the damage. Keep popping the damage. Open with the alt fire. Now, I'm not going to talk about the open with alt fire anymore, but it's pretty clear that that's a huge missed opportunity for you.
I have not heard of that, so that's like really
That's okay.
just good to know.
That's okay. Just a lot of front-loaded damage for you. Sure. Because what are you going to do with this bubble for you? Like you personally. What can you do with this bubble? Nothing.
Not a lot right
That's
now.
nothing, right? There's no pressure on you. There's no opportunity for you to do any pressure. You didn't know about the Genji, but it's fine. Most of the targets are on your screen, so yeah, just bubble your Kiriko and then go do damage. Your job is, as Zarya, is to, as quickly as you possibly can, as safely as you possibly can, put yourself into a position to where you are the problem they have to deal with. Right now, you need to do damage. So the problem here, do you see the problem? Is even when you should be bubbling your teammates, which you should be here, as quickly as you possibly can, you need to be the one that's a problem. Are you a problem right now? No.
No.
You're not even looking around. Like, you don't even have a bubble, and you're still looking at your teammates. Well, kill her, right? Shoot the fortify. Kill the Genji. Deal with the drop and kill the Kiryu. I don't care. Do something. We need you to do damage. There you go. Get him. Get him. Yes, this is fine. You see, now you're the problem here. You notice this? You're the problem now. So this is opening up, even though you're not in a position to bubble this Genji. This means that this Genji is not going to get support and then dies. And then here... Great target priority swap there. You almost could have killed him there. But to be very clear, with the exception of maybe some ult fire here and there, which is we said we're not going to worry about it. This is good. You did a good job. You did a good job. Nice job. We might win this fight because you were the problem there. You see it?
Yeah.
Look at that. And so then that means that you absorbed everything. You absorbed three people's attention for a long period of time and chunked a huge portion of their HP away. So I actually look at the back half, the last little second when you just focused on you and only you. All of a sudden, it was clarity, and you played well. I mean, it wasn't complicated. You just bubbled each other, right? But you know what? That kind of clarifies the value of what your character can do. Good job.
All right.
Any questions so far?
I guess in that situation where it is like just three people looking at me and like the Lucio goes by, should I just like realize, okay, I'm probably gonna die here? Should I just like die killing the Lucio? Or
if you could have, yes. If you could have, yes. But then maybe you're like, well, I can kind of drag out my death if I don't go for him and so live for another 3 or 4 seconds. Sure, that's fine. Okay. Like in that situation there, you're going to die at the same rate anyway, so you should have gone for the Lucio kill harder.
Yeah.
But in certain situations, you might be like, well, they're going to have to push. I'm going to kind of bait them into a corner and waste their time for longer. Yeah, it's a nuance there. Yeah, it's a nuance. Yeah, good question. Any other questions so far?
No.
Okay, damage uptime. Keep it up. Even when you're bubbling backline, you do so and immediately look for damage. You see, this is the problem here. You have committed to this angle here. What do you need to be focusing on right now?
Damage?
Just damage. Shoot the Rhine. Shoot the Rhine. Now, I'm very attentive to listening to anybody overextending or pushing me or flanking me, but I'm just shooting Rhine. I do not let this guy walk forward without burning shield, because what happens if he does? Well, my backline, you see what's happening? You walk away from Rhine, which then means who do you have to bubble? Your Sojourn.
Yeah.
You see the problem? And then also, what did you do instead of bubbling and shooting Rhine? Well,
not try to rotate, but I'm too slow.
Nothing, right? Like you didn't even do any. There was nothing there. So that's the limitation of Zarya. It's like it's not that positioning doesn't matter. Positioning matters before the fight starts, but as the fight starts, you're pretty much just dictated with what's on your screen.
Okay.
And so we bypassed his Rhine and managed to hit backline. That was a nice little bit of alt fire there. But crucially, we ended up should have just sat there, bubbled Rhine, kept the distance, whittled shield down, forced him back. Rhine's on an automatic counter. Your ability as Zarya to outplay Rhine is strictly through your ability to do damage around his shield and on his shield. That's it. You manage your distance, you win. You don't, you lose. That's that. Obviously, the perk choice is, you know, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Even here. I know your gun sucks, but sit here, pop a couple alt fires in the corner. Don't meet this here. Where should you be meeting here with where this fight is set up? Where's your backline?
By like pillar, back pillar.
So this is a team, right? You will play with, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So do not meet these guys here. Let them come to point first to where you guys can pummel them. This is a choke that you're giving up by making you walk through the choke instead of them. Remember that. Yeah. Maybe some of your Reapers pulling you into, but if that case, slap them across the face.
The idea here was to grab, draw out beat, and then have him wrap around left side and blossom like while beat is leaving.
Sure. So do that here.
Yeah.
Do that here instead. Do that here instead, where your backline can follow up, because you are screwed if they have anything to respond with. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you're literally 2 or 3v1ing or 3v5ing right now, almost literally. Like there's no Lucio value, Sojourn value. It feels horrible. I don't dislike the plan, to be very clear.
Yeah.
I just need to play your choke. Yep, just focus on your screen. I mean, you could shoot the May, but you know, sorry. Okay. Shoot. Wait. Oh, you got barrage.
Yeah.
This May lives way too long through a complete lack of alt fire.
Yeah. Okay.
I promise I wouldn't bring it up. I had to just there. I just
no.
had to.
I think it's no. That's definitely a good thing. Like it's just not a that's just not a problem that I was aware of that I was having.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. You bubble and shoot. Sure. Keep shooting him. Doesn't mean you have to pursue the Rhine, but if that's the closest target available, sure. You see, this is the thing. I don't dislike you looking at your Reaper here, but what could you be doing instead?
Just burning Rhine Shield.
Burning Rhine Shield. Keep shooting Rhine. You have gun, he no gun, right? It's like, this is kind of the problem here. It's like, it's not that awareness of your teammates isn't good when you don't have something to shoot. It's that when it becomes a priority over you winning this frontline trade. It's so important for you to win this frontline trade here. And you have every opportunity to do so. This is good. This is good. Keep going. Like, you have to... Think about it this way. If I can force resources onto this Rhine because I'm winning this frontline trade, those resources are not going elsewhere. See, this Rhine is being completely ignored by his team because he's not needing any help. If you look at this, all of the enemy team's attention's on your Reaper, which means, oh, I should bubble Reaper. No, we should have pulled resources this way ages ago.
Okay.
We should have pulled resources this way ages ago. And only bubble your Reaper for a flash second, maybe, and or in situations like this where the Rhine avoids you, and then you see it, good bubble.
Yeah.
But still do damage because he becomes the tank briefly. Good bubble, but fight's lost because we just didn't do anything.
Yeah, and then I'm too late to react. I just like don't go back in there.
Yeah, that's fine. Shoot. Now this is an interesting bubble here. I don't hate it. Because you are completely out in the open and you are moving, so maybe the bubble's necessary. I would still prefer you to react with bubble a little bit here. You have full HP, so you don't necessarily need to preventatively bubble the situation. It's okay. Make them hit a shot first, right?
Yeah.
Good bubble.
I know he's TPing to point.
Yeah, it was fine. It was fine. It was mostly fine. Keep doing damage. Yep, keep doing damage, keep doing damage. Your attention to your teammates should be something that's super snap. Now, as in, basically it's there and it's gone. Now, there's a really cool little tech here that Diva players know from back in Overwatch 1, where you min-max your visual. So this is a little small detail, but something that you might be able to effectively do. Which is, for example, right here, you need to keep doing damage, but you're shooting such a fat target that what you do is you actually look at your Reaper while you're shooting Rhine Shield.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So what you do is you can look when it's a really fat, easy, juicy target because it's no headshot multiplier and it's just easy. You could just beam or spam alt fire down a choke while you're kind of looking off to the side. Like this happens with Diva players when they were trying to eat cooldowns all the time. They'd look at the target on their flank or on their like slightly off to the side of their screen while they're shooting what's on front of their screen. But you must be pressuring, right? Like right here, you cannot stop shooting Rein Shield. You must shoot Rein Shield. You must get him out, right? And then here. Now, because you can't do both, your number one priority is yourself. What's on my screen? How do I not get smoked here? Keep doing damage, keep doing damage, keep doing damage, keep doing damage, keep doing damage. This is a bad bubble. Why?
It's just really just the Rein, and he's not going to...
It's just the Rein, right? Now, I know why you're bubbling, because you're rotating here.
Yeah.
So it's not always a bad thing. But this is the problem with, let's group up and clear high ground, because the enemy team's not stupid. What are they going to do? They're going to fight back. And how are they going to fight back? Well,
rotating around.
They're going to so maybe your job here is to not rotate with your team. Maybe your job is to hold this corner here and stop this from happening.
Yeah, I do.
You see how bad this feels, right? This is tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. Okay. All right. So like this, for example, you can't stop them from clearing high ground right now with the current position you have. You don't need to. You need to put pressure on that rotation. That bubble's fine. Priority needs to be on damage, though. Keep doing damage. That's a good bubble. Do damage with it now. It's fine. Sure. It's weird because you were not a very high threat, but there was some sort of a distraction elsewhere. You were shooting a little bit, which meant that there was a little bit of attention played your way, which meant that a little bit of attention helped your Reaper to get a lot of value, right? Something to consider.
Yeah.
Still a very strange fight, but...
Yeah.
Gotta keep damage up here. Because remember, you use your bubble Lucio, I don't think it's a mistake, you know? But you cannot let this Rein walk you over. If I see that as Rein, goodbye. Right? I'm gonna start walking on you, you're gonna start walking hard. And you're still looking at your backline here. I understand, but you are going to lose this trade now. You're going to lose this trade. And you still weren't able to stop it from happening. You have to find that balance. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's not just about, oh, you need to stop being so selfless. It's because you're being selfless that you're being selfish, because look at what your team has to do to keep you alive.
Yeah.
Best case scenario, worst case scenario, it's a quick bubble and then go right back to damaging. Because you have to keep the pressure, otherwise your team is in serious trouble. Grav is pretty good. I like the fact that we're trying to bypass Rein Shield and just try to kill something else. It's good. Okay. Again, any questions so far?
So in like the situation where the Rein like rotates height and it's like I'm the only one on point, like I kind of realized like before, like, oh, I probably shouldn't have been standing there, but like what do I like just like commit to rotating, or do I just like stand where I was on point, assuming?
I mean, this is more of a team communication thing, right? So like, and you could have tailed them from behind like the Rein did previously.
Yeah.
You can just stand here where it's easier to land alt fires and bubbles. You could stand here and do the exact same thing. Just don't take any damage at all. Lob bubbles at your team. Lob alt fires from point without taking any damage. I mean, they're going to have to drop eventually, or you can say, guys, just give them point. Just give them high ground. It's fine.
Yeah.
Be all right. It's fine. I mean, your value is your range, right? Like Reinhardt has to actually physically be there to commit to space, right? You don't. So you can help your team while also lobbing the alt fire across the map. The problem wasn't your attention on high ground. The problem was your attention that continued to be on high ground when there was something on your screen on point.
Yeah.
You know, even if you have to throw all your bubbles on high ground, but then you better shoot this Rein, otherwise he is going to kill you. I mean, shooting is how you defend yourself. That's kind of the main thing, right? And I think that's what's getting you lost here.
Okay.
So in this situation here, again, look at your attention. You have to look here. Your Reaper's screwed if you don't. You must protect your team here. So everything here is about doing damage on that front line as efficiently, as quickly as possible. Otherwise, you guys are going to be in serious trouble. Yes, yes. You see, it's funny. It's actually like, what would have been better here? Bubbling your Reaper or bubbling yourself to walk forward and create the chaos that allowed your Reaper to get this off? You see the nuance here? You
Yeah.
bubbled yourself and not your Reaper, and yet what did you do with this bubble? You walked to a different corner. You did a decent chunk of damage. They all back off as a result, force an Ice Block before the Death Blossom even comes out. So you see, you didn't bubble your Reaper, and yet, in a way, you did. You see it?
Yeah.
And if we'd been better here, this probably would have resulted in kills, because we would have been more pressure-focused prior to the fight. It's fine. Okay. Okay, let's see what we got here. Sure. Sure. I don't know what they're doing here, but okay. You were the main character there, and they're paying for that, right? Yeah. Not a good decision. I think they thought they could chase you down and Maywall you, and you responded to it really well.
Yeah.
Just do damage, and you're cooking. Do damage. Just keep doing damage. Keep doing damage. Yeah, good job. I mean, your entire team was able to, like, 3v1 the Pharah because they just couldn't kill you. You were to take so many resources without dying. Good job. I find Zarya to be a lot easier when I'm the main character, when everybody's trying to kill me, you know? It's a lot easier.
Surge gets caught out.
Yeah, it's just more of a team call there. We needed to commit to the fight there and not rotate the point, I think.
There's a really big mistake coming up. Because I wanted to switch, except forgot that me and my entire team forgot that they banned D.Va.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Okay, fair enough.
That one was really...
Well, obviously it worked. Hindsight's 2020, so, you know. This is all part of your big brain strat. Yep, commit. See, it's moments like this I really don't mind. I want to be clear. Are you doing damage right now?
No.
Could you do damage right now, legitimately?
No.
So, might as well. Make sure they get the rotate, because you know that they're under threat, right? This rotation will be spammed. So you might as well. Do you understand what I'm saying here? It's not that looking at your backline or sideline is fine. It's when it's not compromising your damage, and there's nothing to be seriously done with damage right now. But it's always done while you're intending to move towards damage, which is exactly what you're doing right now. So you rotate, you check your backline, and then you move towards the Mei. Because if I can kill this Mei or force this Mei out, well, then my team can focus on the Pharah and not worry about anything else. You see it? And then now the only thing that matters is what's on your screen. Do not turn around. Do not turn around. Because you living here, or at least dying slowly, is really important. So my criticism here is more along the lines of little things, like the alt fire, which you've spoken about at length, but also little things like this bubble wasn't really necessary given the HP and probably wasn't going to increase your damage output as opposed to just holding the corner here. I prefer to have two bubbles here, right? Little things like that, also considering the status of the old economy right now. It's important for you to use your perk to get charged here rather than using your bubbles unless you're doing a lot more damage with that bubble. And then other things like your Kitsune Rush needed to come out ages ago. And also little things like, isn't this just gosh darn hilarious?
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, your Kitsune Rush needed to happen. I don't know why it didn't. You needed to have a bubble saved there. Not just saving a bubble, but you didn't really get any more damage out of that initial bubble.
The bubble,
right?
Yeah.
Right. That's always the value with Zarya. It's like, I need to use the bubble for damage, because if I do, even just if it's holding a corner doing more, then I'm preventatively protecting myself, essentially. That perk is just insane.
It's not okay. I'm kind of surprised they didn't move it to major.
Couldn't tell you. Do you notice that you're not really turning around here, despite having a Pharah on your flank shooting you?
Yeah.
You don't have time to.
I mean,
you don't have time.
Yeah.
You just don't. You just have to pray that she doesn't hit her shots, because if you do, these guys will kill you, and you will kill your team. This is good. So this is where it's like, you know that she's there, and as soon as you get a chance, what's the first thing that you do? Look, first thing you do. You see it?
Yeah.
I love that. That's so good. So good. Because you might as well. There's nothing else to do. Just check the backline. Make sure they're okay. It's good. Good job. D.Va functions very similar in terms of how we're doing this. But the difference between Zarya and D.Va, as I said, and this is why I think Zarya is better at peeling, is that Zarya can actually impact things that are split from you without committing cooldowns.
I think a perfect example is just me with the Reaper here, where it's like the entire game plan is to just like let them walk forward and bubble him, like
but right. But that's never gonna work most of the time unless the enemy team is stupid. Because if you're, I mean, it's gonna obviously work because I'm looking at time here. But like, we need more than Reaper doing things here, right? So where should you be if this is the plan? You know, up a little bit, at least here, so that when they do the bubble Reaper thing, we can do damage. It's a good shot, I guess. I mean, that's a crazy shot, but
I definitely think that I don't do anything really in this fight besides like bubble.
yeah,
Which is
it's
kind of the problem.
you're just a spectator, you know. You have like, I mean, I don't want to say this, but I feel like you have some of the highest DPS in the tank cast. Like your damage, I mean, you know this, right?
Yeah,
you know
I
your
do.
damage is insane. Like that's why people play Zaryas. You know. You know, it is what it is. But yeah. So for me, it is a consequence of playing in a team environment. I say this all the time with team scrim Zarya players. The reason you're playing Zarya is the Bubble Reaper, yes, but not just the Bubble Reaper. You're not a caricature, right? You're more complicated than that. Your job is to Bubble Reaper and then do damage. Bubble Reaper and do damage. And finding the balance between where your attention is going to is really important. We saw a couple moments where it was really good on a rotation during a maze ice block. Check your team. When a Reaper's in front of your screen. When you can look at the Rhine shield with your gun, but your eyes are actually looking at the Reaper on the off angle, right? Those are all moments. When they teleported across the map on first point to where you couldn't do any damage. Bubble your Kiriko. Bubble your Sojourn. Great bubbles. But problems on your screen, they're your problems. And you should probably save your bubbles to deal with those problems.
Yeah. And then like here's the thing where like how do I just like work at that? Is it just purely just like
Just
'cause
pure
it's like
focus. Pure focus.
if I just like go into a scrim and just be like, hey guys, I'm gonna like try to just like only shoot today, and it's like they're just gonna get mad at me. Or do
Well,
I, just,
I wouldn't say that only
I know,
shoot, you know, but I'm gonna try to do a better job of my uptime. Yeah, of course they might get mad at you here and there, but we've already established that your teammates are the first ones that are suffering for your being too much of a team player. Like you are losing so much frontline trade and demanding so many more support resources. I understand it's more complicated because of how it sounds, but that's not the reality. And you have to have faith that this is how it's going to be done. You know, it's something to practice in ranked as well, because this is probably something that actually impacts your ranked play too, even though there's like less communication in that front. I mean, I see it all the time in ranked play. You know, something to consider. So, but yeah, you just need to practice it. I mean, it's not the only thing you need to practice. Keep working on your cover usage, and obviously, as we said, the mechanics of your alt fire. Huge low-hanging fruit for just more damage output. So keep that in mind too. That's probably like the other big thing that I would say. But yeah, this needs to be done. This needs to be done in the scrims. This needs to be done in officials. We need more pressure from you, and then a quick burst bubble, and then back to pressuring and winning frontline trades. Okay. Any questions?
No.